Workforce shortages and staff retention continue to be a difficulty facing all major industries in the Falklands, including within the government itself.
The last 6 months has been a challenging time for the Maritime Authority, with significant staff turnover.
My thanks to the Director of Public Works and all of his team, who have been working with a very short staff.
But how do gaps in the workforce negatively impact the economy?
Basically, my simple answer is there's not enough people to do everything we want to do. And of course, for these last 2 years, really, with no links to South America, LATAM, it's accentuating that problem.
Pre-pandemic, construction and hospitality industries look to employ more South American-based workers, but strict travel rules in recent years have made this more difficult. However, the wider issue of instability in the Falklands workforce isn't new. The Skills Assessment Council was established in 2016 to review current and future skill requirements for the islands, whilst last year a labour force development report was released by the government. Lack of available housing, improvement in communicating the Falklands offer, and medicals were amongst some of the limitations to development identified in the report. However, since then, updates to immigration laws, such as applying for a permanent residence permit, have been welcomed as progress.
There's less emphasis placed on formal qualifications and assets, and there's more emphasis placed on skills, experience, what job you do, what you bring to the Falklands.
How do you get somebody here? How do you try and get the right person here? How do you put things in place where they won't just be here for a year, 2 years, whatever it may be, and move on? And of course, part of that has been addressed by having work permits now, which goes out for a few years as opposed to the shorter term that it used to be.
The government specialist report from last year was, however, criticised by the private sector for being too government-centric. And at the start of this calendar year, the Chamber of Commerce reiterated that workforce supply would remain one of its biggest priorities.
Making sure that there are suitable government policies and processes in place to allow people to employ the people they need to employ to do all the work that needs to be done here. If we don't have enough supply of workforce, but we try to do too much work, it'll just force prices up, and you know, the workforce will become very mobile, and people won't be able to rely on getting the work done that they need on a timely basis.
The Honourable Gavin Shaw.
It was announced in last week's Legislative Assembly that a soft consultation with the private sector will begin shortly, with a view to produce a fully fledged strategy on how to tackle the complex issue soon. How soon, though, is unknown, as in a twist of irony, the government's policy unit currently battles with a labour shortage of its own.
The policy unit team have taken it away. They are now going through it, but of course, unfortunately, there's very few people in the policy unit at the moment, and they're grappling with a few other things. So I can't give you a firm date, as much as I would love to sit here and say it's going to be next month. I just cannot do that, because I would be probably telling an untruth, and I don't want to do that.